Hello, girls. So this is the continuation of the topic, homeostasis part 2. So in the last video, we stopped in keeping your balance. So our ear is also responsible for keeping our balance. Like the example a while ago, this boxer, his target is to punch the ear so that this man loses its balance to stand. Part of our ear inside, when you use a force like punching, okay, it can lose your sense of hearing that causes your body to be in not balanced position. That's why they are knocked down. Back to this, relate the cause and effect. Complete the cause and effect of table to help you to organize what you have learned about homeostasis. Cause cause is here, and then body effect is in this column. So body gets cold. What is the body response? It shivers. After shivering, okay, it goes back to body temperature of 37. It goes back to normal temperature. Body gets overheat when we sweat. That sweat evaporates, and then our body goes back again to normal body temperature. Body needs more energy when we feel that we are drained, and then our energy is very low. Okay, we will feel hunger. When we feel hunger, we need to eat. After eating, the body goes back again to normal level of energy. Next, body needs more water. When the body reaches in a low level of water content, we feel thirsty, and then after we drink, it normalizes again. Okay, now let's try to go here, balance act. How do this diver, remember this is a diving board, and then this diving board usually it is set up in a highest place. Okay, in Olympics, have you watched that? So they are standing in a high diving board. How do this lady keeps her balance in the diving board? So how the nervous system and then the muscular and skeletal system are working together to keep her balance. You know, when one of the qualification to be a diver is a good hearing condition. If they don't have a good hearing condition, they cannot qualify to be a good diver, because when you stand here without a good hearing condition, they might fall in the pool in a wrong side, and then that cause an accident. Okay, so let's proceed. This one, responding to stress. Actually, stress is a very helpful ways how to keep our body in balance. Our body also has its own way how to keep its balance during the stressful situation. Here in your book, it says, in general, stress is the reaction of your body to possibly threaten, challenge, and or in uncomfortable events. So when we are in uncomfortable events or scenario, or when we are challenged, scared, and threatened, or when we are afraid, we have this stress. And then this stress uh, is very healthy. But in a certain way, sometimes it makes us sick if we don't know how to manage it. If stress is over quickly, your body returns to a healthier condition. However, too much stress can be unhealthy also. Ongoing stress can disrupt homeostasis. For example, it can disrupt your body ability to fight disease. It can also cause depression, headache, digestion problem, heart problem, and other health issue. Managing stress is very important in our lifestyle. Look at this picture. Use this photo here It's up to you, girls. How are you going to rank this according to your activity? In your opinion, what is the least stressful and what is the most stressful? Number one is the least stressful, and number four is the most stressful. For me, studying is not so stressful for me. I could still manage. Number two, of course, because I love dog. Okay, this I'm not threatened to dogs. I am not scared to dogs. I have five dogs in my place in my country. So it's not a stressful activity to me. Going to dentist, since this is given, I'm not also afraid to the dentist, but I am afraid to major surgery, dental surgery. So that's why I write here three. And then four, of course, most of us are afraid of heights, but it depends on the heights. This activity, mountain climbing, okay, is kind of stressful to me because it's high. At the same time, if you cannot balance your weight, at the same time, you cannot balance your body weight, as I mentioned, you cannot go up and then it can cause accident. Okay, so it's up to you. If you are not afraid climbing in heights, you could write here one. If you're afraid to dog, you could write here four. So it's up to you. But this is how I rank uh according to my opinion and experience. Okay, number two, which activity could be very stressful or not stressful at all? Explain. Rock climbing could be stressful if you're afraid of the heights, but not stressful if you like to do it. Okay, there are some people who are afraid of the dog because they have a bad experience of uh, handling a dog, or bad experience, or some people are having bad experience because of their dentist. Maybe their dentist is not careful or what. That's why they have this fear. Now, this one, fighting diseases. This is a very timely topic. Our body has its own way how to fight disease. Okay, when your body system are in balance, your body is healthy. However, bacteria and viruses that can cause diseases can disrupt, or they can disturb the body homeostasis. When that thing happen, we'll become sick. Okay, but by the way, what is the difference between bacteria and virus? Okay, I have here a sort of explanation, a short explanation. What is bacteria and then what is virus? Okay, bacteria and virus, they are different in size. They are still microscopic, but virus is more smaller than bacteria. At the same time, you can pass the bacteria to other people, to other places, to other thing. Okay, virus, yes, you can pass. Bacteria, yes, sometimes you can pass it. Now, it can be cured. Okay, some bacteria, there is no cure or medicine. Bacteria, sorry, what I mean, virus, okay, some viral diseases have cured or medicine. Bacteria, there are many medicine for bacteria, especially antibiotics. Examples of viral diseases are common colds, flu, chickenpox, especially the issue nowadays of coronavirus, okay? So that is nCoV-19. So bacteria, okay, example of the diseases that you can get through bacteria is strep throats, pneumonia, urinary tract infections. But didn't you know, girls, that our body has its own way how to cure itself? Because God given us a soldier inside our body. That soldier could fight naturally if our body is in normal condition, or if our body has its balance. Okay, so I have your short video to understand more what is the difference between virus and bacteria. So let's watch.
Oh, hello. I'm so glad you're here. I'm just finishing upgrading some. The papers I'm grading today are on differences between viruses and bacteria, and I have to tell you, they didn't do so well. I want to teach you the differences between viruses and bacteria, so maybe you can come and teach my students. Viruses and bacteria are what we would describe as germs, and these are the germs that we think about when we think about getting sick. And people are often confused between bacteria and viruses, but they're actually very different than each other. They do have some similarities, so let's think about the similarities first. They're both microscopic, meaning very, very small, so we need a microscope to see them. They both do cause and can cause very severe illness. They can cause illness in humans like us. They can cause illness in animals like this little dog here. And even plants have bacterial and viral illnesses that can be problems for them. There are going to be different types of viruses and bacteria that affect the different species, but they all can cause a lot of trouble. Let's think about some ways that they're different than each other. So I said that they're both microscopic. That's true, but they actually are very different size-wise. So bacterial cells are actually very large compared to viruses. Bacterial cells can be sometimes 200 times larger than viruses, which is really interesting. But again, still both microscopic. Bacterial cells are very unique in that they are alive. They're individual cells. They're able to reproduce on their own. So if we call our little M&M, yay, candy, a bacterial cell, this bacterial cell can reproduce. Take one and then you make two out of that. These two would then go on to make four, and they're going to continue to reproduce in this way. So they can reproduce on their own, and then they can cause infections in people. Bacterial cells are interesting too because they actually can be good for us. We have bacterial cells that live all over our bodies, on our skin. There's bacterial cells that live in our intestines. They're called normal flora, and they're actually really important. They help us to break down food and even produce vitamins like vitamin K for us. So they can be good too. So these are bacterial cells, so they are able to reproduce on their own versus viruses. Viruses are not actually living. It's interesting that scientists classify them as something between living and non-living, which is a really interesting place to be. But these viruses, the reason we say that they're in between living and non-living is that they need a host to reproduce. So viruses, they can live on door handles and they can live on hands. And again, if you shake hands with somebody, you can pass the virus to somebody if you sneeze and cough. But once they pass from one person to another, they actually have to get into a cell to reproduce and make more of them. So here's an example of this. So say this is your cell, right? You shook hands with somebody, you touched your eye, and now you have a virus that's invading your cells. Here's your little virus that's going to infect our cell. So what the virus is actually going to do is attach to particular cells. It's going to take this DNA that's inside the virus, run that down into your cell, and then what the viral DNA will do is take over the manufacturing equipment inside of the cell. So inside the cell, no more are we producing bacterial cells or any type of your own proteins, but now we're making only viruses. So it's essentially a virus factory at this point. So it's no longer performing functions for you. Then what happens is this thing is going to fill up with viruses so much, so baby viral particles are going to fill until we get to the point when bust open, and now we have all of these little baby viruses running around, and they're going to go and infect another cell in your body. So that's how viral infections spread in your body. So viruses need a host cell to reproduce. That's a major difference that we have. How do we treat viruses, and how do we treat bacterial cells? Viruses typically are shorter course of illness. You're talking between 2 and 10 days, depending upon how healthy the person was to start with. Bacterial illnesses typically are longer. You're looking at more of a 10-day to 12-day course for bacterial infections. And then how do we treat them? Viruses can be treated only with antivirals, so you can get those from the doctor. But in general, the best way to treat a virus is rest and soup and water, and that's essentially it. So viruses will be taken care of by your immune system if you rest and baby yourself for a little while. Versus bacterial infections are treated by antibiotics.
Okay. So that is how the biologists differentiate bacteria and then the virus. So now let's do a short summary that our body maintain its homeostasis by regulating the body temperature, number 1. Number 2 is meeting the energy by eating and maintaining the water balance by drinking, maintaining the balance and responding to stress and fighting diseases. Okay, thank you, girls. Have a nice weekend. Enjoy your rest day, and we will continue next week. Thank you.